Let's now move on to main topic number one. And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by one of our Patreon supporters, Cal L, who writes, and thank you for being a Patreon supporter, Cal L. Greetings from Ottawa. I love Ottawa. I read an article today from The Wrap about AMC theaters may not survive after the COVID-19 stuff. I wanted to hear your thoughts on this and the movie industry in general. All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Cal L. And yes, look, with the movie theater shutting down, we talked a few times this week in the past or over the last week or so about how this is going to be cataclysmic for the movie theater industry. You know, a lot of people think movie theaters, they're just loaded with money and all this. They're not. I know it feels that way. I know it kind of looks that way when you see these palaces that are movie theaters. But believe me when I tell you, the movie theater industry is a razor thin margin business. And this type of a thing is going to hit them in a horribly tough way. But even saying that, my confidence as a consumer that AMC as a theater is still going to be there in and of themselves has remained quite high. However, a new report coming out of The Wrap is suggesting there's a bunch of industry analysts who are questioning whether AMC can even survive this situation. I'm going to read a little bit this at length. Again, this comes to us from The Wrap. We are witnessing the single greatest disruption of the film industry in American history, said Eric Schiffer, CEO of the private equity firm, the Patriarch Organization. Now, they go on to write about a number of things, including their doubt that AMC can survive this. The debt-laden exhibitor stock price has dropped 83% in the last year, finishing Tuesday's trading session below $3 a share, as its market cap has shrunk to just $271 million. All of this raises questions about whether it will still be left standing when the dust of COVID-19 eventually settles. I don't see how they survive this, said Eric Schiffer, CEO of the private equity firm, the Patriarch Organization. And R. Bailey, FBR analyst Eric World on Wednesday downgraded AMC's stock from a buy rating to a neutral and cut the price target to $3.50 from $13. Basically, what this goes on to explain is the fact that we have a situation here where this is so critical and so tough. And, you know, the article also goes on to explain that in the last number of years, AMC's also been spending a lot of money buying up, you know, other movie theater chains. I believe they bought up Cinemark is who they bought up, and launching one of the big expenses they've had is launching the AMC A-List, which went through the first year and a half of its existence losing AMC money, and only in the last quarter of last year actually started to turn a profit. Now, that's something AMC always anticipated. They knew they would operate at a loss on AMC A-List for a while, and then hopefully as it caught on, it would start to show a profit, and it did start to show a profit before this whole kind of mess hit. So we have some analysts sitting here saying that because of the unique position that AMC is in, they're having their doubts whether or not the company is even still going to be here at all. Now, not all of these analysts share that same dismal appraisal. Some feel a little bit more hopeful. As the article goes on and says, this is another analyst saying, not only do we view this as a unique and strategic move being taken by Universal, now talking about the number of movies that are now going straight to DVD or straight to home video, right? The analysts are saying they don't see this as being a long-term problem. They say, not only do we view this as a unique and strategic move being taken by Universal to take advantage of the significant marketing dollars that have been spent ahead of those releases, and to counter the adverse impacts of social distancing and recently impacted movie-going demand, we continue to believe that this is not a strategy that can be financially successful for most big-budget, high-profile titles, and would expect this move, and possibly others, to be very unique to the near-term outlook and not one that would linger into the second half of 2020 or 2021, and that the theaters will reopen to the public. We will assume, now this is what they go on to say, so they don't believe that this whole thing about movies going to streaming early is going to be long lasting. They believe this is a short-term thing in response to the very unique situation that we're in. We assume that attendance and revenues are essentially eliminated until at least the end of April, he continued, although this will create a meaningful strain on AMC's balance sheet in the coming weeks. We believe the company has the ability to preserve necessary cash by reducing variable operating expenses and near-term capital expenditure spending. So what we've got here is we've got different points of view. We have certain analysts saying, we don't see how AMC survives this at all. But then again, we have other analysts saying, look, a lot of this stuff is unique, temporary. We believe AMC has enough cash revenue and they're doing the right things to reduce operating expenses, that we believe that once movie theater going picks back up, we believe they can survive this. So it's a very, very scary time. If you're, particularly, I mean, for everybody, but if you are in the movie theater industry, this is a particularly scary time. So it's going to be interesting to see how Regal, how Alamo Drafthouse, how the biggest movie theater chain in the world, AMC Theaters, are going to be able to bounce back from this once the dust settles. We're going to have to wait and see. The question here is, guys, what do you think about this? Are you like a lot of us that you think of these movie theater chains, they're just Goliaths, they're unshakable, nothing can bring them down? Or are you starting to see like, man, these guys could be in trouble? What do you think? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right.